That's fun. We got to find the fun in the equipment.
Haven't we?
We do moan. We moan, rightly, I think. Drivers are all the same. They're coming out every year on board, blah, blah, blah. This is good. This is fun. This is what we get up for.
But where does Dave go now? Where the next putter? Does he stick with the black pudding ridge? Does he call next on the Cumberland? Does he stick with the third putter?
Yeah.
Or does he just keep
I'd have
mixing it up?
And mash.
Yeah,
sausage
cool.
and mash.
I saw someone say something funny the other day about Head and Shoulders, the shampoo. They're like, how incredible that they missed a trick and didn't make a body wash called Knees and Toes. That's the sort of thinking Dave needs to bring into sausage, isn't it? Brilliant stuff.
So good. Hello and welcome to another episode of Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show. Thank you for joining us for an hour or more of equipment chat. Joseph, hello, how are you?
That's all fascinating, Dan, but are blade putters dead? Answer me that.
I don't know. We're going to answer that in this episode, Joe.
I'm going to have a look at it because I've been thinking about it.
Okay, great. So we've got that now, apparently. Also, sausage putters. Sausage, that's funny. They've made some cool putters. We're going to talk about it.
They've made two putters, one of which is particularly cool, and we're going to talk about that. Yes, and it's a sausage that goes both ways.
It's a sausage that goes both ways, folks. Stay tuned for that. We've also got some broader... Joe's licking his laptop. Some broader putter chat about the best putters of all time. Something of a putter special today. And that's the pod. And then we'll be inviting, or have invited, Ewen Ferguson.
Are you okay?
Onto the show for a What's in the Bag special in person at the British Masters. He's a cool chap, isn't he, Joe?
He is a cool chap. A lot going on. Big personality, big game. Lots of fun. Liked him.
Good. And you'll be able to see that interview at the end of the episode. But before all of that, Joe, it's time to welcome a brand new sponsor.
Go on.
Onto Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show. This is exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
So, welcome Golf Gear Giveaways.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen a bit of these.
Well, I hadn't until they have sponsored the show.
How very honest of you.
I'm just going to be honest. And my second bit of honesty is going to be that they give us, what I love about these is they give us an idea of what to say in a script.
Okay, cool.
But we're going to sort of try and bounce off that, okay? So just forgive me if I start reading the laptop. I've got some things I need to say, but...
Am I allowed to interrupt?
Please do.
Okay,
I encourage you to. I actually encourage you to maybe get your phone out and have a little look at the app and the website. So, Joe, did you know that you don't need to pay the insane prices for modern golf equipment?
Yeah, because I've already told you I've seen this.
We did say it, yeah. Golf Gear Giveaways gives golfers a chance to win the latest and greatest premium equipment for a fraction of the cost. Now, if this isn't the audience for that, I don't know what it is, because we all like stash, right?
Correct.
We all like golf equipment. That's why we're listening today. Here's a way of getting it a little cheaper. Golf Gear Giveaways run competitions every week to win custom fit golf clubs, exclusive golf experiences, and premium accessories. They've already given away over £5 million worth of prizes to well over 5,000 winners.
How many million?
5.
That's a lot of million.
How many winners?
Loads.
You weren't listening.
No.
Over 5,000.
5,000. That is loads.
So we're going to get through how it works in a minute. So they have guaranteed draws every week. They're live draws on Facebook and Instagram. So you can watch along and see what you win. All of the comps are guaranteed to be drawn when their timer ends.
So I'm on the
regardless
website now.
of how few tickets sell. So explain what that means.
I'm looking at timers. I'm looking at a load of competitions. And if you can see that down the lens, there's a ton of competitions of various different things that you
give us an example of one of the comps up at the minute.
Well, you've got the Callaway Happy Gilmore balls. There's the Callaway Elite Mini Driver. I'm in the Callaway section here, by the looks of it. TaylorMade Black QI35 Design Series driver. It tells you how long till the draws coming, so you know how long you've got to enter. You can kind of pick the ones you want because it's got like a bar that tells you how many percentage of the tickets they're going to sell. So this is the
point they're making here, is there are a certain amount of tickets they can sell, but that competition doesn't have to sell out for them to draw it. They'll all be going ahead regardless of the amount of tickets that are sold.
And frankly, you're better off if they don't sell out because your odds improve, don't you? Yeah.
They also have the best odds, Joe, don't you know, of any golf competition site, giving you the best chance to win for the cheapest possible price. So how do you do it? How do you get stuck into some of these? All you got to do, Joe, I know you're already on there now, is go to the website, www.golfgeargiveaways.co.uk. Create an account, Joe, which you've already done.
Correct.
And then select which competitions you want to enter and which prizes you want to win. So let's have some more examples while you're at it.
Well, I've got stuff from 5 pence to enter to 50 quid. So
what's the 5 pence one? Sounds
5
good.
pence one I'm looking at here is the Rolex Comp ticket bundle. So you've got £504 worth of tickets. This will be sold out by the time this goes out because it's got 7 hours remaining. I don't think we're going to turn the
that'll be done tonight. I might sit and watch it when I get home.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then above that, I've got the £50 high roller entry ticket. So there's a lot going on there. That's only 13% sold out. So there's only 192 gone in that so far. So
how long's left?
2 days, 8 hours, 17 minutes and 32, 31, 30, 29 seconds.
Also won't be on by the time listening to this. So go to the website to see what's on right now. You can pick which ones you want to enter. And as you can see, the ticket prices range from not a lot, 5p.
Yeah, 5p. So you could,
50 quid.
I'd risk a quid there.
I'd risk a quid
just to
as
boost
well.
my odds. But also, look, by the looks of things, you've got a little wallet at the top. So you could just set aside your whatever you want to spend that week and just divvy it up along
And
the
you've already
comps.
come to the next point.
Have I?
And
Okay.
check out. That's what you got to
there you
do,
go.
what we've just said there. They also have a huge range of instant win prizes available, which are prizes you win as soon as you check out, just for getting certain ticket numbers. So there's a chance that when you check out, you might be quids in. These aren't just small prizes like balls and accessories either. Currently, golf gear giveaways have over £150,000 of instant wins to find right now. So these instant wins aren't going to be, ball markers all of the time. Now, Joe, we already spoke about how good value that was. What, 5p to enter one of the... You're giggling away, come on.
I'm giggling away. I'm just on the Instagram site at the moment. You go to their Instagram account and look at the winners sort of highlights. There's like a highlights thing. It's just a series of pictures of chaps looking really happy with their new Pro V1s.
Hey.
Or look at this fella, look how chuffed he is.
Hey, here's one for you then. So on this golf gear giveaways Hall of Fame they got on their Instagram, if you as a kick pointer, and we've got an offer for you coming up in a minute, win one of these and they ask you to send a picture of you, could you print out the kick point logo so we know it was you?
Yeah, go on.
There we go. Get some sort of synergy going
That's
on
a
here.
good idea.
So we have a very special offer code for listeners. Kick 20. Joe, what's that again?
Kick 20.
What's that again?
Kick 20.
That will get you 20% off every comp, including the ones that are already reduced. So there's some that are already reduced. There's some that are 5p. So you can enter for 20% less than that, which is 4p. No. Yes. A penny off.
Yeah.
And some bigger ones, obviously. So that's our offer as part of this sponsorship. So that's very good. One last thing, Joe. They've got a very special competition they want to tell you about. You're having a great time on there, aren't you?
I'm looking at a historical one. We've got Paul receiving his brand new Sim 2 driver. Looks thrilled to bits, doesn't he?
He does. It looks like it was that a while ago then.
Feels like it was a while ago, but there you go.
Golf Gear Giveaways has created a competition where every single ticket is a winner. You heard that right, says the script. Every ticket you buy will have an instant win prize, and every ticket you buy will go into a live draw to win a jackpot prize on the live draw when the timer ends.
It's a bit of fun, that.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I like that.
Prizes: custom fit set of irons at £3,000, custom fit wood bundles, electric trolleys, premium putters, wedges, and much more. Thank you very much, Golf Gear Giveaways, for sponsoring this episode, and they'll be back for a few more over the next coming weeks.
I want to see a kick point winner. Want to see that printed out kick point, so make it happen for us, please.
We want to see a kick point winner.
In fact, if you are a kick point winner, if you win something and you get that little thing that we get notified about with a kick point up, I will double it up and donate another prize from my wonderful Aladdin's Cave of things.
Wow, there you go. So make sure you use that code kickpoint20 to get yourself started over on golfgeargiveaways.co.uk. Thank you for sponsoring us. And Joe, it's a really fun packed episode.
Go on.
A preamble about sausage putters we're going to come on to imminently. And Ask the Pod. Really good Ask the Pod, actually. Not that all of them aren't. Putter Chat and Ewen Ferguson. That's a fun episode, isn't it, Joe?
Fun packed. Blade putters. Get to business. Stop your waffling, Daniel.
Sausage.
No. Before sausage.
Pre-sausage?
Pre-sausage.
Well, we do it. Go on.
We have an amuse-bouche of blade putters. I think they're dead. This popped up to me. I was doing more research on the Ryder Cup, which is now gone.
Oh, gosh. I wonder how we got on.
I'm sure we won. It's now gone. But I was looking not only at the drivers, which I spoke about last week, looking in the putters of players, not just brands, etc.
Shapes.
How many of the 24 putters on show at the Ryder Cup do you reckon are blades? And I'll give you an extra point if you can name the players.
Wow. Okay. Bryson DeChambeau has one.
I fancied you get that.
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much time with me guessing. I'll play along at home while I guess.
Yeah, go on. Pause it now and think of the 3 players in the Ryder Cup that had sort of traditional more blade putters. I'll give you a clue. There's another American.
Can you feel the dead air?
There's another American. On Family Guy, first name was Peter.
Brian Griffin.
No, Ben Griffin. And there's a Swedish fella on the European team.
Ludwig Uber.
Called Big Ludwig. Of the remaining 21, blade, mallets.
Yeah.
Either half mallet, full mallets, blah, blah, blah. Then I started thinking, well, that feels like a lot. Also, my sort of dislike of calling them blades, like the answer style putters.
I'm well on board with this now. I remember we did this right at the start of the podcast, and I wasn't as clued up as I am now, as I hope you are, having listened
So
along.
a blade putter to me 100%. Would be like the Wilson 8802, no perimeter weighting, just a pure blade putter. Nowadays, you kids seem to think answer putters, which clearly have perimeter weighting and hosel, are blade putters. But I'm going to go with it for the sake of this, so people get it. But yeah, so your kind of answer styles, your Newport 2s, things like that, not many knocking about, certainly at the Ryder Cup. So then I started having a look, what about the rest of the golfing world? I thought this year in the majors, none. No major winners this year at all. So we had 2 Schefflers, a McIlroy, a Spawn. Then I looked back, in the last 12 majors, only 2 have been won by blade putters. That was... I think it was... No,
what did you just say? How many years?
That. The last 12 majors.
Gosh,
20, so down to 2023, 24, 25. The last 12 majors, only 2 have been won by blades. And I wrote this down. Koepka was certainly one of them.
You wrote this down and now don't have it in front of you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Seems like it's been deleted. Useful. Koepka was one of them, but I can't remember the other one. Bryson was the other one at the US Open.
Fairy.
Bryson was the other one at the US Open. So of those last 12, only 2.
Did you pan out even further?
Well, not really. 2022 was still quite a bladey year for the majors. So Fitzpatrick won his US Open with his Bettinardi blade. Cam Smith won St Andrews, and Scheffler, I think, won the Masters. He was still in kind of his Scotty Cameron Newport or the Logan Olsen one of those. So, but it just feels like in the last 2 to 3 years, and I don't know whether this is a Scheffler thing. People saw, what happened to his career, but it's just dropping off a cliff. No one is very few people are using those sort of more traditional feeling answer style, Newport 2 style blades. Everyone's going MOI. Everyone's going forgiveness. It just dawned on me when I was looking at the putters in the Ryder Cup, and I just, like I said, I had a slightly wider glance. I'll go and do a bit more research, but it makes sense, doesn't it? People are looking for that extra stability and MOI.
And so why? So let's go...
Even Bubba. Hang on, with Bubba we played with at Live. We had that chat about that on the social, and he didn't know what MOI was. Then we bump into him and play with him the next year, and even he's got fangs and perimeter weighting and mid-mallet. Just found a Twix in my pocket.
Do we need to sort that out now?
No, we'll leave that.
Okay, why? Let's do a theory that I like that you brought up on the podcast over the last few weeks is copycats on tour. Trends happen and people follow it. I'd say that's probably one, right?
Yep.
2, why wouldn't you want more MOI and stability? 3, has that MOI and stability come in more palatable heads that the players prefer the feel of? Because blade putters to me, answer style putters, always felt like the more creative putters, the feel putters, the guys using it as an artist's paintbrush.
Yeah, but you're just using words there and anecdotal feels. There's no kind of the impact feel of a spider is no worse than the impact feel of even a Scotty Cameron.
Okay, forget the impact, maybe the feel of the head. I'm getting all artsy and floaty.
Yeah, you're getting the connotations, not the facts.
So do you reckon it's just done then? Everyone's gone, why the heck were we doing that? And then we may never see them in bulk. We'll see them, never in bulk again.
That's exactly what I think. And that's exactly what I said about L.A.B putters a year ago when we started this. And that's been growing and growing and growing to the point where, I just think we will get to the point where we're going, what on earth will we doing manufacturing these putters that want to rotate away from square to the path? That doesn't make any sense. Back when people made mallets, that was deemed a fad, and going to put that big lump of metal. Who's putting with something that size? That's ridiculous. And now the MOI, the stability, that kind of stuff is really, really focused on. So yeah, I think it's here to stay. I think the performance benefits are clear. If you hit it off center, you're retaining more ball speed. There's less torque and twisting of the head. People are playing for their livelihood. There's a lot of money on the line. It's pretty clear that it's a more functional way of putting. Shush away. Sorry, but the other part about that is you can get a mallet. If you are someone who doesn't buy into the zero torque thing, you can obviously still use a mallet, but adjust the hosel and the neck preference to do what you want it to do. So Scheffler, for example, uses his plumber neck, which will create a little bit of toe hang. So that's a feeling he's used to. Other people will go kind of a center shafted mallet. Other people go heavy toe hang, like Rory's got basically the same head as Scheffler, but with a little mini slant neck so he can create more torque profiles. So you're not robbing yourself of different profiles. You're just creating those profiles in a far more forgiving package.
I literally don't see a reason to be an Answer style putter.
I don't know. I don't, unless it's something you've just, something you've grown up with. You're completely used to that shape. It works fantastically well for you. Again, my feeling is, I'm a tech person with this kind of stuff, and I buy into when I see something that's functionally and you can prove it's better. There's a lot of people just cling on. I've always done this. I couldn't possibly putt with that. And I hear it about zero torque. And if you're willing to give it a couple of weeks and just spend a bit of time relearning a feel, I believe the downstream effect of that is it's just a far more functional way of putting. That's how I think.
The nuts and bolts and the data suggest something very clear. And are we about to immediately contradict ourselves with a sausage that goes both ways?
No, we're not. Because that sausage that goes both ways is a full mallet.
Is it?
Yeah,
See, I've not seen it. I'm completely fresh into this. So I've not seen it.
Right.
The listener, the viewer don't know what the heck you're on about. I'll start Googling it now so people can see it.
Yeah.
What is sausage and why is it called that?
So sausage golf. So my DMs were popping off, as the kids say.
With sausage pics?
With sausage pics. So people forwarding me these sausage pics there was a very, very interesting graphic that was going around. It was kind of a video that they'd mocked up of a black mallet head.
I've just seen it.
Have you seen it?
This is cool.
You need to get the graphic. I want you on Instagram. Get on your phone for me, Dan.
Right, carry on.
Find the sausage golf graphic. So this graphic's going round of a shaft coming out of this black mallet putter head and going into re-entering creating a centre shafted putter, unscrewing, coming out, going back in the head further back towards the centre of the mallet, creating a zero torque head, unscrewing again, and then going into the heel of the putter to create the same mallet putter, but with toe hang.
This is cool.
But not only that, you could flip it over and do all of that left-handed. So they've got slots in this head and the screws, and it's been so beautifully machined. It looks like, I haven't had it in hand yet. I've got a sausage en route. So you could flip it over to the other side. So you and I could just, we could be going out for a knock and just share a putter, just unscrew it on. I mean, a little time consuming.
Four ball behind going, these lads are swapping putters again. That's not on.
Fascinating in terms of just an engineering project to create something that does all of that. Have you found the graphic?
Well, yeah,
there?
show which one I need to watch and we'll play it. We'll screen record it and play it for those watching.
That one, watch it.
Okay.
So Dan's just watching it. It's unscrewing the bottom, the shaft's coming out. You just put the shaft in it, or different orientations. You've got different little blocks that come with it to fill the hole.
And then he just flips it.
And then you just flip it to left-handed. It's quite an astonishing piece of just thought and design to come up with that. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So I was thinking a couple of reasons. If you're somebody who wants to try a few of those talks and you like the look of the head, which I think a lot of people will, it's a really clean mallet head. I love just kind of a matte black, got some really simple T alignment. I think it's a really cool looking head and it looks really beautifully done. If you're somebody, bit of a tinkerer who wants to try zero torque, who wants to try a toe hang putter or a centre shafted sort of more face balance style putter, great. And I thought also for pros, if you haven't got a fitting kit and a load of product that you can try people in different profiles, you've got a putter there that you can fit left-handed people in, see how they react on Sam Putt Lab or Capto or whatever to different torque profiles. I thought it was absolutely...
This is genuinely fascinating.
It's cool, isn't it? And then I had so many people, like I said, sending me that particular graphic and going, oh, you need to get this on the pod. And I'd sort of seen it. So I reached out. So
one's on the way.
Well, I did make me laugh because we share our Instagram, don't we, on Kickpoint in the DMs. I did wonder what you might think when you saw me messaging Sausage Dave over and over again on the DMs. But yeah, we've got one en route from Côte d'Azur in France. So,
yeah, it's interesting. What's the French connection? Because the model's called the Boudin Noir.
So I want to know,
which means something black.
Yeah, so I want to know.
My French isn't that good.
Good point. I want to know more about it. So Sausage Dave's quite mysterious. So it's like the About
That's
Us
not his
section.
name, is it?
Well, it's Dave from Sausage. So it
means
About
black.
Us. Go on, what does it mean?
It means Boudin Noir. There's black pudding.
Black pudding.
So it's the black pudding sausage.
Very good,
So
Dave.
good.
Bonjour, Dave.
I like that. Oh, hello.
Hello. Yeah, it was an Only Fools and Horses reference. So Dave, the About Us section is quite, it's just like, yeah, born in Manchester, went to Côte d'Azur, great place to engineer putters. It's like really
Is
vague.
it? Why? Why is the because it's nice there?
It seems lovely.
He feels
Yeah,
happy.
I googled that, and it's just a lot of celebrity sightings. Just seems like a really nice place. Coates also, he's obviously there's no sort of reason for it other than that he kind of wanted to make a present for his dad. For helping him buy lots of golf equipment, and has just started engineering. There's a couple of models, and the names are cool. You've seen like so we've got the black pudding. We've also got the first one, just called Design Number 2. So he's mixing it up. He's using our like very prescriptive stuff, chucking a black pudding in there like a secret weapon.
Obsessed with black pudding.
Dave, you've got
our attention.
You've got our attention. You got off to a wonderful, wonderful start here. Very good. That was nice.
Should we have her again?
Come on, pop her in.
Boudin Noir.
So Dan's using...
Oh no, she changed that time. One more time.
Boudin Noir.
Oh.
What an accent. So the old black pudding, got that on the way. So again, for something like us, we can make a cool video on this because
we can.
It's a sausage that goes both ways. So we can share it. So I could hit some putts and we could do a dual review.
Oh my gosh.
So we get your thoughts as a lefty and all those 3 different profiles, my thoughts as a righty.
6 putters in one, effectively. This is fascinating.
I just think it's really cool. And it's not mad price for something that's like independent.
Yeah, 450 euros. These things, again, well, this is effectively D2C. We spoke about this many weeks ago now, but it can get quite expensive. This is in the normal putter price range. Really,
machine from space grade 6061 aluminium or 6061. I don't know how you'd say that. I just think it looks beautifully finished. And quite frankly, I can't wait for it to come through the door. I can't wait to have a play with it. I can't pop it on. I can't wait to get it in your hands, pop it on Instagram and just see what it's all about. Because think of all the brains at your Odysseys, your Scotties, your Pings, and we're making all these different models. That is such a cool feat of engineering. I'm interested to see how tight the fits are and what the tolerances are like. But,
fascinating.
I just thought it was lovely. And so if you haven't seen it, go and have a gander. Get on Instagram.
That graphic will be up if you're watching. If you're listening, pause and go and see this because you'll get much better context for it. Also, and consider me roused.
I don't think Dave quite knows what he's got going on here because he's like, oh, do you think like it might get in the magazine or something like that? Because I used to read Golf Monthly loads. I'm like.
Heck yeah, it's going to be in the magazine.
Absolutely.
It's going to be on the cover at this stage.
It's going to be in
the Boudin Noir.
I don't think he knows.
The black pudding sausage.
I don't think he knows what he's got here. I think.
Well, also, just looking at that Instagram post, that graphic, which is the pinned post showing everyone what it is, 38,000 likes, lots of shares. There's some serious buzz about this.
And everything you look at on the website, it's sold out already. And he bought a few, I think he's did some conservative pre-purchasing of the models. So I don't know how readily available this is going to be for a while, but this feels like a company that will scale up really quickly because it's got that little bit of mystery, like what you're doing over there in Côte d'Azur. Why are you calling it the black pudding? Brilliant. Where's this genius engineering come from? It just looks so cool.
Already, I think the best decision Dave's made is call it sausage.
Yeah.
What was the brainstorming there? Because, oh God, there's lots of good golf names, lots of quite crap golf names, actually. He's just gone... sausage.
Let's message Dave afterwards because we've got a bit of correspondence going on our Instagram DMs. Let's find out where sausage came from. We'll keep you updated. But in the meantime, go and have a look at sausage. Yeah. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. And if you've got any wild ideas for putters or anything else golf-wise, because these things still come up. You think everything's been invented, don't you?
And
he's just pulled out a zero torque face balance toe hang left-handed and right-handed putter that looks really cool.
A little black rabbit from the hat.
Good on you, Dave.
A noir rabbit from his magician's hat there. So yeah, here's the ground on that. We'll keep follow us on social if you don't, because we'll put that up as soon as it arrives to you. We're reporting it on the podcast as and when, and we will also probably do some more on the pod with it. But lots of fun there, and that's fun. We got to find the fun in the equipment, haven't we? We do moan. We moan, rightly, I think. Drivers are all the same. They're coming out every year on board, blah, blah, blah. This is good. This is fun. This is what we get up for.
But where does Dave go now? Where the next putter? Does he stick with the black pudding ridge? Does he put next on the Cumberland? Does he stick with the third putter?
Yeah.
Or does he just keep
I'd have
mixing it up?
And mash.
Yeah,
sausage
cool.
and mash.
I saw someone say something funny the other day about Head and Shoulders, the shampoo. They're like, how incredible that they missed a trick and didn't make a body wash called Knees and Toes. That's the sort of thinking Dave needs to bring into sausage, isn't it? Brilliant stuff.
So good. Right, should we carry this putter chat on? Because we're on a bit of a roll at the minute. And you wanted to talk about, I think this is an interesting enough debate. We'll find out. What's the best putter of all time? We've spoken about how answer styles / blades are dead. You don't see any of them anymore. It's all mallets. We've got zero torque going everywhere. But pinning back historically, what do you think is the sort of best putter that there's been, or a collection of them that have cultural significance?
I was tasked with a video for one of our friends of the pod, actually, Golf Club Cash, about kind of exactly that. What are the best 3 putters of all time? Let's put them up against each other. Talk about their design, what they changed, their features and benefits. And I came up with 3, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. To caveat it, it's obviously subjective. There's going to be people, I would invite the comments. What have I missed? There'll be something really obvious. There'll be something that you love that you can't believe I haven't brought up. So it is all subjective, and there's no science to this. This is very anecdotal and very like, I've just picked the ones I've seen the most of, would think have won a lot of tournaments, see the most in the hands of players at clubs, some that have influenced other designs and things like that. So I've just picked my sort of 3 goats based on a wide and unspecified criteria. So,
and that's how we like to work here at Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show.
But I was just thinking this, I'd quite like to get more into ranking as people like...
I'm a proficient ranker.
People like definitive, it's almost a bit rage bait, isn't it?
100%.
And people like, no way is that better than this and this. And we do a lot of sort of handshaking of, oh yeah, no. In my
Everyone's
reviews,
good on their day.
Everything's pretty good, and it just depends on what you like. And I wonder whether we could just get into a routine next year, and when we're doing equipment, of going, okay, here's 10 criteria for driver. I'm going to mark it in those, and whatever comes out,
we've done
as
that.
the total. But I mean more like in our Golf Monthly reviews, rather than 4.5 stars or 5-star or whatever.
Oh, I think so.
And then come up with a list for the year of like, based on the 10 criteria, that's the best driver, and definitively have a list rather than just everything's pretty cool.
People want numbers, people want absolutes. Even though it's not quite possible in this industry, I think we can do it.
Give it a whirl, yeah.
Give it a whirl. So let's do some absolutes now of what you think are the best putters.
Well, I got down to 3. I've got a couple of honourable mentions before I go in.
The HMs, go on.
The HMs. The Wilson 8802.
Which is that little beautiful
classy
Adam Smith, who he works in the industry with us, has one in his bag. I looked at it the other day.
The Crenshaw putter, if you like.
Oh, man.
So that was the putter. You know, you were kind of talking about before of like the connotations of like, if you saw someone with that putter.
They're an artist.
Yeah. They must have a flowing little straight.
Or it's Shakespeare with his quill.
Yeah, exactly that kind of thing. And you'd see someone on the putting green and instantly their stroke just looked better. There was a guy you won't remember called Rhys Davis, who was a European Tour pro, and he had like a Yonex version, he had a graphite shaft. Phil Mickelson had that putter years ago. And he was a really good putter, but statistically he wasn't quite as good as everyone said he was. They were just like, oh, what a putter he is. And he was always like reasonable, but everyone just thought he was brilliant because he had this like beautiful flowing little blade putter that you just think of Ben Crenshaw with. And when you think of Ben Crenshaw, you think of what a fantastic putter. So yeah, that's an honourable mention. That was just a classic full toe hang blade. Feels a bit like, you could actually feel like when I was using this the other day in my video, you can kind of feel it almost opening and closing like a door in the stroke. You can feel the torque forces on your hands, and you're having to match that rotation up just to refine square. But what it did do really well when I tested it in the longer putts, so we did a test against a few putters, it performed really well in the longer putts for me, because I think just feeling that torque in the stroke, it moving around, gave me a real sense of where that putter was and how quickly it was moving. And I didn't do masses of putts. It was a very small sample size, but it was interesting to see how well it performed from long range. I could barely get 50% from 6-8 feet from short range. I just couldn't manage the club face.
Did you feel like an artist?
I think I started gripping it. I started just like standing open and like, yeah, I think maybe there's a lot of connotations and things in golf, and things that remind you of stuff, so you end up doing it. Minuscule sweet spot. And I think the reason it's down as the Ben Crenshaw putter. I think the reason I just edged it out was I don't think it really was the Ben Crenshaw putter, and the research that I did is a bit non-conclusive. I think he was in more a McGregor version of what Wilson created as the 8802 later for most of his career. Seemed to win the Masters, I think it was 95, with a Cleveland version of it. So he's always in that shape rather than that actual putter. So I couldn't quite square that off in my head. And
are you going to include the Tiger Slayer in this, or you include this as a shape, or are you specifying the Wilson?
A brand?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. My second honourable mention, the Ram Zebra. Remember the Ram Zebra?
Yeah. I didn't until they brought it back in the last few years.
So it's kind of the birth of the modern mallet, if you like. High MOI, really strong alignment aids, obviously with the zebra patterns, those black and white stripes on the top that weren't commonplace. That kind of mallet shape and really blatant alignment aids weren't commonplace for
So that must have been quite dramatic.
Yeah. It was dramatic, and people would just say, there was a time when all golf clubs it was about pure craftsmanship and lovely shaping and soft metals and subtlety and stuff like that. And when golf got a bit louder and became a little bit brasher and people were more performance orientated than civilized gentlemen, things changed a little bit, and stuff like that became more acceptable of, well, that's going to make me perform better because I can see where it's pointing. Yeah, it looks loud and brash and whatever, but people got over it, and that was kind of the birth of modern equipment. That sort of opened the door for me to that. Raymond Floyd won a major with it. Nick Price won the Open, I think, with the Ram Zebra. That was the phrase we always used to use at scratch matches at the club. Beware the man with the Ram Zebra putter, for he will have no more than 18 putts. And it was just effective. So that's my honourable mention for the Ram Zebra. But my first nomination,
it's like a pointy award
for the greatest putter of all time. And again, agree, disagree, get in the comments down below. Tell us what you think, what have I missed? And just pick your winner from my three if you want, if you agree with my three nominations. The Bullseye. Remember the Bullseye?
No.
Of course you don't.
Going to Google.
So yeah, just
What's it
Google
called?
Bullseye putter. So
right.
ultimately ended up as a Titleist Bullseye, but it wasn't Titleist to start with. So a guy called John Reuter Jr. invented it in the 1940s. So
This is the one you get at Crazy Golf.
exactly what I get into here at the end. Dan. So
sorry.
from what I can tell, it was the first putter to have a shaft enter not in the heel. So most putters were like the 8802 before, like an iron, like a wood, where shaft just goes straight in at the furthest heel point. And this was the first putter that didn't do that. And they call it perimeter weighting. It wasn't perimeter weighting as such, but it's kind of almost like more evenly distributing the mass of the head either side of the shaft a little bit more.
Yeah.
Wasn't centre shafted by any stretch or getting close to. But anyway, Titleist acquired that in 1952, started making their own bullseyes. But it looks like the Reuter ones, if you find a Reuter one stamped with Reuter, those are the most expensive ones.
How am I spelling Reuter?
You will find REUTER.
T-E-R.
Yes, if you find Reuter stamped bullseyes, those are the slightly more valuable ones. And that often happens. So like he was kind of like the modern, the early Scotty Cameron, a bespoke putter designer who got acquired by Titleist. Logan Olson, a bespoke putter designer who has been acquired by Dan's gasping here. Logan Olson acquired by TaylorMade, and then we had who else? Sean Toulon. They're acquired by Odyssey. So there's these people who do their own things and craft, and they get acquired. It looks like he might have been one of the first that did that. Tell me what you're gasping.
Sorry, I was gasping. I was Googling bullseye putters, and on Golf Clubs to Cash right now, there's one for 200. Look at this. I'll put it up on screen for those watching. I'll describe it for those listening. $249.99. So it's pretty dear. But Joe, Coca-Cola on the back.
Coca-Cola
I'd love to know the
embossed
history of this
bullseye.
putter. Yeah, I'd love to know the history of this. 250 quid. Seems quite dear. Must be
Golf Pride Tour Wrap grip, is that, I think?
Yeah, it looks like it. A little collectible item there. Anyway.
It's really cool, isn't it?
We digress. Oh, are we putting this in here because it's like if you got a toddler to draw a putter or you got a non-golfer to draw a putter, something this shape would come out the other end?
I'm not sure. I think that would happen now simply because it's been used so much in crazy golf or putt-putt, whatever you want to call it. I'm putting it in there because it was really effective. It was groundbreaking design. Like I said, it was one of the first of its kind to go away from that fully sort of heel entry shaft point. And there was some other really cool stuff. You could use the bulk of them. Well, let me get into this. So there were some silly model names, which you won't like to start with. So from the original Reuter one, you could get, let me get this up actually. So in the different models of the bullseye you could get at one point, you could get the STD standard. The OS, old standard, OSET, which is offset, OR, LB, HB, LAF, which is La Femme. So you could get a female version.
Very French today, aren't we?
JR, FL.
Who shot JR?
The LHFL, which is a left-handed flange. LFL, WFL, WFLO, the HSF, the HSF2, the ML, the MLO, the MLI. You could get it in 4, 5, 6 lengths, which are 34, 36, 35, 36, or the Le Femme length, which was 34 for the more petite lady. You could also get it in M, U, F, so medium, upright, or flat. You could get it in PSC, grips, paddle, standard chord. So you could have ended up, for me,
What's the maths on that? The amount of options?
I didn't add that up, but I took the liberty of deciding what putter you'd be in. So you'd be in so you'd be in the left-handed flange, mallet offset I put you in.
Yeah.
Ladies, because you're not massive.
No.
Flat lie, paddle grip. So you'd have to go into the shop and ask, I need that bullseye. I need the bullseye LHFL, MLO, Lefemme, FP. That's what you'd be asking. That's what you'd be asking for.
I'm never complaining about modern manufacturer naming again. That is absolutely brilliant.
So yeah, you could go down that route. Imagine having to go into American Golf now going, I've got my specs. Like,
let me go see if we've got them for you, sir. Thank you.
We haven't got one in stock. We'll have to order it in.
We've got everything, just not the FM one.
Yeah.
Too big for me.
The true bullseye that you'll have seen at Crazy Golf, and probably why it gets used at Crazy Golf, because you could use it left and right-handed, couldn't you? Because they had the same front and the same back, no different materials, no cavity, no anything like that. Some of them, as we've said, they
like
could
the
get
sausage.
flange and stuff. No, the sausage...
You can switch it, not immediately. I'm being facetious.
You are being facetious. But yeah, so that's why it became so useful, presumably, at Crazy Golf, because you didn't have to buy left-handed and right-handed in. And not only that, Nota Begay III decided that Crazy Golf was the way to go. And he was a man, you knew this. Go on, tell him what happened.
Even I knew this. Well, he had one of these. Oh, don't sneeze over yourself again. Come on now.
Come on.
No one's seen that. He wanted hooking putts every time. So he'd put right-handed for a right to left breaker and left-handed for a left to right breaker. So you had that more comfortable hooking putt, which is cool. It's money-balling putting a little bit.
Hence why he used a bullseye. And yeah, it makes sense. Like, I think exactly that is moneyball putting, really. He's analysed the stats that those hooking putts are easier to hold and worked it out. And there's a guy that won on the PGA Tour. And
that motion isn't much different from that motion. So
really.
Why, you could, a skilled golfer can teach themselves
I've
that
seen you
versus
putt right-handed. You can putt perfectly fine
Yeah,
right-handed.
probably putt better right-handed. We've all had that thought, haven't we?
So there's a lot going on with this putter. Arnold Palmer, big proponent of the bullseye. Bob Charles, first lefty to ever win a major, pioneer for your people. Bob Charles,
my people,
your people, and also widely regarded as one of the finest putters of all times, Bob Charles. So, yeah, famous for being the crazy golf putter, pioneering technology-wise.
It's a good sell so far. I like this.
Great names of the letters.
It's so funny because I love the name Bullseye. That's a brilliant name.
Yeah.
And they've nailed that.
Target, bullseye, bang,
perfect.
Bullseye.
And then they've ruined it. What was mine called again?
The LHFL, MLO, Lefemme, FP. Yeah, that was it.
ABCD. So good. Okay, that's a strong case for the bullseye. I'd say, Joe. Good luck.
What are we going to do at the end of this? You're going to pick one? Or?
I'm going to pick one because I've not.
So
am
I putting the cases forward? Am I?
Yeah,
okay,
and then we'll hear what the folks say in the comments.
Right. Nomination 2, I'm going out of my order here. Slightly more modern day entry, brought out late 90s, the original Odyssey 2-ball. So this one for me, it's a total game changer for a certain type of player with struggle with alignment, basically, who didn't get on with like a flange line, a top line, a sight line. All of a sudden you put two disc-shaped, exactly golf ball side discs on the back and create that, I'm telling people what a 2-ball is here. We all know, but that was baffling to people at the time when it came on. We first saw it in the shop, and these things again, you forget, right? I remember seeing it in the pro shop at my local golf club. Like, what on earth? But like now, we'd see it 6 months in advance on a YouTube video of some influencer and teasers on Instagram. This just turned up in the shop, and you're like, "What?
That must have been mad.
What the heck?" So you're straight out on the putting green. You're like, "Oh, it just lines up so easy. This is mental," and it would blow your mind. So yeah, it was incredible for people who couldn't line the putt up, and you still see it. So many of them today, even on tour, various different iterations of it since then. But the original OG white hot insert has never been beaten for me. That insert was the best. It had a little cavity under the discs because presumably there was just too much weight to make that solid. So it had like a nice kind of reverberation to it. There was a little bit of vibration. It was great feedback. But that was dampened by the insert, the original OG insert that was brilliant. First professional win was, again, this is near me, a Celtic Manor, the Wales Open 2001. Paul Lawrie won with a 2-ball there.
2001. So you've had the 2-ball and the Pro V1 enter the market in the same year.
Big time. Wasn't it? The turn of the century.
Pro might have been the year before, but anyway, that
2000 Pro.
That turn of the century technology that we've still got today. That's a pretty big couple of years for stuff that's hung around.
It's a very good point. But yeah, then you'd start to see people kind of doubling down on this is the thing I used to see all the time at county events. Get a 2-ball and either want to be different or double down on the alignment. They'd start getting rulers and a Sharpie and drawing their own black lines through the discs.
Well, we've seen that now.
Yeah, but so that was a thing where people just were like,
did their own thing.
I'm going to do that. Then Odyssey just got fed up of seeing their putters covered in smudgy Sharpie and then offered it as they called it the tour line, I think, at that particular... We'll
sort this for you, lads.
At that particular point, you'd see some terrible efforts, like somebody couldn't quite see straight and like the lines didn't match up.
Imagine, like...
Honestly.
You struggle with alignment your whole life. All of a sudden, a putter comes out that fixes it. And then you put a crooked line on it.
It's the type of thing I would have done, isn't it? Completely. But yeah, dismissed as fad, gimmicky. What are we doing here? The game's gone. It's completely mad. Bit like L.A.B are now, and this is why I keep talking about L.A.B.
That swear jar's getting very full.
Yeah, just it's I stand by. Very rarely I stand by something I said 20 minutes ago, let alone a year ago, and I still think I'm right. I still think I'm right about this. And yeah, here it is today, and it's still being iterated in various different models, and it's fantastic. And Odyssey they just crashed into the market. Again, like I said, it felt like no warning. There's a warning for everything now, isn't there? Because we've got information coming out of every orifice. But at that point, the internet wasn't knocking about, or was it very early?
Very early.
It certainly wasn't like social media and golf stuff. And they just turned up. I remember Faldo...
sorry to interrupt. Was the 2-ball there first?
No, but Odyssey basically turned up in 1996. They were around, they'd made like the Rossi, but then Faldo put in the Rossi 2 in the 1996 Masters and went on and won it, and in one of the most famous Masters, beating Greg Norman down the stretch. Everyone was like, what's this? Odyssey Rossi? And then a couple more turned up, and like Lee Jansen was using one. I think Paul Azinger started using something, and these Odysseys started turning up, and then just out of nowhere, I couldn't tell you, I guess Ping Answer to that point was just the putter that everyone used. And then all of a sudden, within a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, Odyssey were just by far and away the number one putter brand in golf, used by so many people on tour, winning majors. They were slightly more affordable than some as well. They didn't price people out of the market at that point, Odyssey. And I've just not seen a company arrive like that since maybe L.A.B now to an extent, but not like Odyssey did. They just come straight away, number one brand in golf within 2 or 3 years, it felt like.
As you rightly said, in that era with no internet and no ability to preview and all this, it's just, hello, we're
just
here.
Came out of nowhere. Yeah. Oh, look, Faldo's just won the Master Boudin Noirs. Right. We better make loads of models then. Off we go. Bang, let's go. And they just capitalised, and here they are today.
Here's something we should do, I think, a little bit more. Whenever we go back in time with these equipment chats and what's any old what's in the bags we do, is the Golf Monthly archive. They've basically taken every Golf Monthly magazine that's ever been for 120 years. It's not like a
shelf out there, is it?
It is actually.
Boxes of stuff.
I'm not sure back into the day, but they've got it. We could go back to the issue in 2001 where this club was reviewed. I'd love to see the opinion of probably Jez Elwood at the time. I'm aging him there terribly.
We do need to do this.
We should do this because I'd love to know what our ex-colleagues or people who work for Golf Monthly as we do now thought of these radical things.
Here's what we thought of the greatest putters of all time when they came out. Be funny to pull out some fad gimmicky.
Let's do that.
This will never last.
You know what? We're not recording for the month, but in a few episodes' time for you watching and listening, we'll go back to let's pick some great products, all putters, drivers, everything. Go back in the archive and pull out the reviews and see if that sort of stands up to today. That sounds fun, doesn't it?
The boys were right, eh?
Yeah. Hey, that's fun. I'm excited for that.
They could be doing this in 30, 40 years, you and me, about the sausage.
Yeah, 100%.
When we broke the
Who were the first Golf Monthly to talk about the sausage? It was Dan and Joe. Yeah. Good for them. Okay, that's the 2-ball entry. Your final nomination,
so a bullseye
please.
2-ball, and my final nomination, I've alluded to it already, the Ping Answer.
Has to be in there, right? To be.
Godfather of modern putter design. First putter really to feature any kind of perimeter weighting. So you probably know as much about this as me. You've been to Ping twice and had the chats about.
I've had a go with the original. Was it the 1A they called it? That made the Ping. Literally made Ping.
Yeah. Ping believe it's responsible for over 500 PGA Tour wins, 19 majors, and it's got to be the most copied putter / golf club in the history of the game, right? I mean, Ping, there was a lawsuit around 1984 to try and limit that and try and they kind of took back the actual ownership of the original design, etc. But by that point, the cat was out the bag and the ball was rolling, and it was pretty unstoppable. But what more do you say? Like every brand, whether it's Scotty Cameron, whether it's Odyssey, whether it's TaylorMade, think every brand who's ever made putters
right
have had
now in their
own,
matrix will have one as well.
correct, and still, although as I alluded to earlier, is it time finally that that's starting to being filtered out with some technology that's proven that potentially, but incredible that from the 60s we're still using the basic identical shape to this day.
But does that not actually back up your argument from earlier that these Answer style, we said blade, but Answer style putters are dying? Because this is 60-year-old design. Yes, that's had great staying power and that's absolutely fine. But maybe the mid 2020s is the time for that to fade away. That's a decent 65-year stint,
It's
quite
a great
frankly.
stint, and people will be spitting out their coffees at home and saying, "No, it's a classic and it'll be with us forever." And it probably
But the
will to an
bullseye's
extent.
gone.
But the bullseye isn't gone. The bullseye, there's still a chap on tour. I saw him the other
You're
day.
joking.
A Japanese fellow who's got like a Scotty Cameron Circle T version that he's not going to.
Fair enough, man.
I would argue he's costing himself a couple of strokes potentially from the tech side of things. But who knows?
I'd like to do his whip, but what's going on in his
I'll
brain.
find out who it was. I should have actually got the name before doing this. But yeah, it's still there. And I think there's a couple of the older guys who use very similar stuff. And I remember Mark McNulty was a Zimbabwean player who won a load on the European tour. Really good player. You've got no idea.
Encyclopedic knowledge you have.
You've got no idea who he is, have you? But he was again, I don't know if the stats backed it up, but widely regarded as one of the great putters. And I don't know if it's because he's stuck with his old bullseye and things like that. It's pure speculation here. If we stay on the Scotty Cameron thing, I saw an invite floating around in at work to an event at the barn for a new technology coming from Scotty Cameron soon. I've got a hunch that might be. They
read between the lines on that one.
Get to the zero talk thing.
What's that lefty who plays? There's a lot of them. Is it Smiley?
Garrett Pigo. Oh, Elvis Smiley.
Has got a
yeah.
Is it Elvis Smiley who's got a zero talk sort
I
of?
think
There's
Garrett
one
Pigo
coming.
did as well. Is
There's
Garrett
one
Pigo a
coming.
lefty?
He is a lefty.
Sure, there will be.
Good. Okay. So those are your three noms.
So my three noms would be Bullseye, Odyssey 2-ball, Ping, Answer, all for various reasons. I hope I've made the case for all three of them. I'd be happy with a tied first.
Tied first for all three. Well, that's not the way the world works.
Go on then, Dan. Based on the cases I've put forward there, what are you naming the GOAT?
The most compelling by a distance there was the bullseye.
Okay.
I absolutely found that fascinating, and its history and its design and its first, and the fact it's being used by more golfers than anywhere in the world because people are using it on crazy golf courses is quite romantic to me.
Yeah, I like that.
So I would go for that, but feel free to disagree, those listening and watching, and let us know.
I also know now exactly what I'm getting you for Christmas. I'm finding a bullseye and getting it stamped with the LHF LMLO Lefebvre FP. And that is,
if you can find me that exact spec, good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's very generous of you. They're
So
quite expensive online. I appreciate that. Don't expect a return gift of any kind
absolutely.
of
I
monetary
expect
value.
nothing from you.
Well, last year's Secret Santa got lost in the post, didn't it? So
Still at my house.
Oh, great.
Interestingly, was that not a sausage? No, it was
a pig pal.
Pig pal, nearly. It's a sausage eventually.
The context for that, I read out an email where someone left out the N on ping for ping pal putter.
He was naming what was in his bag, and he said, I've got the Mizuno TP5, I've got the Pig Pal putter, because Dan had never heard of Ping Pal putters. Read out Pig Pal.
I thought that was a genuine thing.
So I got a
You were
toy
gonna make
pig,
one.
and I've shafted the pig up with a putter shaft in the grip. It's still
We need
sat
to
in my
get that for
garage
the
to this day.
So good. Well, really fascinating, Joe. I love it when you do some research and go back in time.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. But for now, Rios on the ones and twos today, it's time for our favourite part of the show, and hopefully your favourite part of the show as well, because it's Ask the Pod. Boom.
Quicker than Johnny.
Yeah, way
Quicker than Johnny last week, yeah.
That's 1-0 Ria. Ask the Pod. Ask the Pod. Ask the Pod. Ask the Pod. Yes. God, that was good.
I love how this has just stayed with us.
Yeah.
Carry on.
People like it.
Come on.
My mum mutters this to me.
Does she?
Ask the Pod. Ask the Pod. Suppose she gets this far. Right then, Joseph. Before the main question, this one snuck in on the YouTube comments that I want to ask you about. It's a really interesting comment from Tom Ashmore, 4128 on YouTube. As I know, the Joe is a bit of a grip perv. Do you have to do any different tape setups in your bag to achieve the same thickness depending on the shaft you use? For example, my wedges, brackets Vokeys, KBS High Rev 2.0, I use 3 layers of tape. Oban CT115 in irons, Strixon ZXi7, 1 layer of tape. Ventus Blue Velo Core Plus in the driver, brackets GT3. I use 2 layers of tape to achieve the same thickness throughout the bag because of the varying butt diameters. I use the True Temper Icon grip. I hadn't even thought of this, Joe, so I thought I'd put it to you. What's Tom on about there? And is it something that you do?
Well, that's not a question, is it? Because it sounds like that's exactly what he's doing, right?
Yeah. So it's a comment that I'd like us to discuss.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Let's rebrand this segment to Ask the Pod.
Comment the pod.
Comments we got we'd like to discuss.
Okay, that'll be a tough jingle. Yeah, it's absolutely a thing, and like
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. So you, there's no kind of standardization. Well, in golf at all, as you know, like I moan about.
Let's not do that again.
There's no standardization. There's no standard butt diameter. There's no. There are some limits within the rules. You can't make diameters too thick or too thin. I couldn't give you those tolerances, but there are limits within the rules. But within that, you can kind of do what you like. So yeah, I've alluded to it before. Tiger, when he moved to graphite shafts in his driver and fairways, had a slightly different taping setup to he did with his irons. And Tom, is it? Yeah. So Tom's obviously not off then.
Completely.
So Tom's obviously hit upon that, and I don't know whether he's just hit upon that from a feel point of view, or a lot of manufacturers, when you go and look on the websites, will specify. If you went to the Fujikura website, you could see the butt diameter of the Ventus and various other things like that. You just looked at me weirdly.
I didn't. Don't bring me down to that, because that time I actually didn't laugh.
Okay, so it will specify the diameter, so you can then make an educated guess of, right, okay, that's thicker than what I've got in my irons. So my irons might need some build-up tape to get to that. Now, there isn't like a particular method to say it's going to need 2 if it's point whatever of a millimeter thinner. That's just going to be a pure. That's a case of pure experimentation and figure it out yourself. And then you also need to be careful, depending on where you get your grips done, or if you're doing them yourselves, because grip tapes vary in thickness quite significantly, a lot of them. A lot of tour vans will use just like a thin masking tape as build-up tape, because you don't want to waste the double-sided tape, which is more expensive and, I mean, a bit tight. But
Callaway's struggling for money.
But yeah, a lot of people do their build-up with just like a thin masking tape. So it might be 2 layers of that equal 1 layer of the double-sided tape, for example. So if you're really particular about trying to get the same feel, you need to not only figure out the butt diameters and what tape's going to match what on your grips, but you also need to make sure that tape remains consistent. And also you need to be careful with some grips. You know, Golf Pride Tour Velvets, they do them in a 60 core and a 58 core, so they'll feel slightly different. The 60 core feel thinner, the 58 core feels slightly thicker, but look exactly the same. And you wouldn't probably know unless you look really on the real small print on the label. So you could kind of do all the taping correct, but if you don't get the right model, and I'm not talking standard to mid-size to jumbo here. The standards, there's a couple of standards. So to kind of match and replicate these exact feels, you've got to be really careful, get the tape right. I've got a pair of digital calipers at home. You can actually just clip on the end of the club and measure the butt diameter yourself. And at various points, some of them taper differently. So the shafts will be thicker at the top and taper down quicker in certain brands, and some will be more parallel in that section. So if you're someone who builds up your right hand, for example, in your grips, you enjoy this.
You're giving me anxiety about a problem I did not have in my life. But all of these scenarios are bringing is making me anxious.
But yeah, if you lack consistency in your delivery and club face alignment, you know, who knows that some of those grips in certain areas will be thicker than others. So as I said before, the top players do not put up with that. Woods would not put up with that. Scheffler's going through 30 grips sometimes to find one for a 6-iron. Like, it's got to be right.
Sometimes I love how nerdy we get. Sometimes I wonder what we're doing.
Okay. No, I can see that.
But thank you, Tom. It's a good comment. And Tom's clearly absolutely dialed in,
Tom's
by the way.
on it. But watch your tape, Tom. Stick with your tape. Wherever you got your last tape, get your next tape.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. Next one, I owe everyone an apology.
Damn right you do.
And that's that.
Yeah. Sorry for his general demeanour.
Yeah, my general demeanour is being pulled up by Kev the Pongo.
Oh, wow.
I've never been told off by Kev the Pongo before. Everyone is so nice in this thread. This is on YouTube. But I had to stop after listening to the pod on Spotify, so throw my teddy out of the pram. Dan questioning Retief Gooson's relevant me off. Enjoy sitting there lauding your American studies degree while bumping your gums about a multiple major winner and European and PGA Tour legend. Retief then knocked the Whitby out of the park. I look forward to Dan's humble apology to the South African Colossus. Other than that, great pod.
Couldn't agree more.
I felt really bad. And I watched that back in the edit. I went, that's not on that. I Googled him.
Dan's got history and form for flippancy and dismissiveness of various topics, and that was done with a man that demands respect. His career, the things he's achieved, the things he's gone through, and yeah, it was
piss poor from me.
Oh, sorry
frankly.
if he's not relevant and blah blah. It was dreadful.
It was pee poor from me. And
come on, apologise down the lens to Retief.
Sorry, Retief.
Better than that. Tell him why you're sorry.
Sorry, Retief. You command respect, and you didn't get it from me, but now you do. I've learned. I'm a better man.
Thank you, Dan.
I think
that's good.
And thank you, Kev, for calling me out. Quite frankly, because that's not on. And it's a really good What's in the Bag, isn't it?
It's a brilliant What's in the Bag. And again, we've discussed this at length, maybe, but like the older guys they
get it, man.
Oh, they had to do more, and he's just still building his own clubs. Callaway send them him in component form, so he just glues it all together, gets his own swing. We're like, brilliant.
Okay, the actual that's the pod. Help me out with his surname. William Matthias.
I'd say Matthias.
William Matthias. Thank you for getting in touch. Via email, hi Kickpoint Pioneers. Oh, what a day it was when Kickpoint showed up randomly on my YouTube feed. A golf gear deep dive with a touch of mirth. Absolute perfection. Mwah. Kiss.
You had to Google mirth, didn't you?
A
just
new
basically
word for
means
me.
amusement,
humour. But a good new word for my vocabulary, and nice to have mwah with a kiss at the end of an email. I'm a 55-year-old 5.1 handicap with 105 driver clubhead speed who would love a new set of irons. My first iron set were cast, and I've always enjoyed the feel of cast irons over more traditional forged player irons. I know this goes against the grain, but it's what I'm stuck with. To reinforce his mindset, I'm looking past the microphone, I get a jarring in my hands when I thin a forged player's club, as I've got a bit of arthritis in my fingers. I currently use the Wilson PI7 irons.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them. As used by Padraig Harrington in his pomp.
Yeah.
He already beat you to it.
He did, yeah.
Did old Willie. Which are nice, but not custom fit. I'm 6'2" with short legs, which is a whole different problem. My swing...
I'm 6'3.5" with short legs, so I can fully empathise.
My swing has become a bit Keegan Bradley-ish, if you know what I mean. This leaves me in a quandary. I'd love some new custom fit irons, but all that seem to be available that aren't
very concise. This fella, is he?
There's good detail. We demand detail.
Sorry,
Don't belittle detail.
Maybe I think you're just dragging this out. Actually,
yeah, because I'm giggling about him. I'm thinking of him having tiny legs, like really amusing.
Just dragging his knuckles along the floor.
Or he's just dragging his torso, his tiny little legs. So I'm trying to find some new custom fit irons, but all that seems available aren't Mizuno MP type forged irons, are the ones in the player's distance category. I'm intrigued by the foam filled idea of a P770, etc. for the possible vibration dampening. And I've tried my friend's Kaylee 101T irons, a DTC company, which felt wonderful. But here we get to the problem. We're here now.
Thank you.
The loft of these and other players' distance irons are jacked up and have large gaps in the shorter irons, which I assume will give me bigger distance gaps, where I'd like smaller ones, and vice versa, with the reduced loft gaps in the longer irons, making the long irons all go a similar distance. I'd much prefer more evenly distributed gaps, and I'd love a 47 or 48 degree pitching wedge. I've also read over the last few years that while lofts are strong, these irons will somehow launch higher and land it at a steeper angle, allowing them to stop well on the green. My question for Joe is twofold.
That would make sense.
Can you explain how an iron could have a lower loft, less spin, but still fly higher and have good stopping power on the green? Is this even possible? That's question one. Question two, can you recommend a foam-filled iron set for me with player distance characteristics and a compact head, but without the distance part, or some other solution? All the best and keep up the good work. Will, 0 holes in one and no albatrosses. At this point, I've lost hope. Well, hopefully this new iron set we're going to recommend can amend that. Did you get all of that?
I think so. It feels like 6 or 7 questions with there. So I can empathise to start with around, if you did want to go into kind of a low handicap small cavity or blade, and you like cast clubs. There's no
he's
option. In the minority there. But yeah, there's very little option unless you go down the real kind of cheapo budget route where they're not forging anything. It's just cast metal. So he's right. There's a potential gap there, but I think it's quite a niche.
It's a very niche thing.
People
He's right. He's
club.
Against the grain of not liking the feel of forged.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting to start with. My first port of call would be loft and line machines. Like, what you're getting as a stated loft there, like a lot of these players' distance irons will come in with, let's say, a 7-iron of 30, 29. Like, you know, there's some very strong, whereas like a more traditional 7-iron nowadays, and can you say traditional nowadays? That's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
You're an oxymoron.
Thank you. But a more traditional 7-iron, say, would be around 34 degrees. So you're looking like a full club and possibly two. Weaker there, but we spoke about this briefly, didn't we? Like, a lot of people I spoke to someone say, oh, like a T150 we were talking about or something back in the day. I couldn't play that, too strong for me, that, and so completely rules out a certain iron model and its tech and its benefits purely because the lofts were too strong. Well, all of these irons, cast or otherwise, you can move, you can bend them. So
these aren't stuck in stone.
No, and like there's guidelines on stuff like this which have come from time that sort of bending more than 4 degrees is like you're really pushing it then, and you're changing playing characteristics and potentially weakening certain areas. But if you like the performance and the idea of one of those players' distance irons at a 7-iron of 30 degrees, going to 32 and a half, 33 degrees and creating the increments, because you spoke about bunching in certain areas with loft there, you can create all the increments you want. And I know it's an extra step, but there's plenty of people that will do that for you. It's easily findable.
And when you are falling into a very niche type of person in the market and you can't find that product, you're going to have to make
it. And you're going to have to accept, as you rightly pointed out when I was saying this to you before, there are some downgrain effects of that. Like if we're adding a lot of loft, you might potentially add a bit of bounce. But again, you've got options there. You can just have a light shaving of the back edge, Dan.
I've always said that.
To kind of smooth out that bounce, or you just accept that another 2 degrees of bounce isn't going to be the end of the world, and you're not going to see masses of performance degradation there. So yeah, that would be kind of my first point of call. Also, there are some irons that kind of do that job without massively strong lofts. I probably should have fact checked myself here, but the P770 from TaylorMade. Let me just.
Why don't we do that?
While I'm
Why don't
going,
we do that?
I feel like the P770 from memory. Let's have a little look. There.
What we're looking at here, so the loft.
I'm going to say
that would be a suitable head because
was,
that's quite compact. It's not fully forged, is it? The P770? No,
there's elements of it that are.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm sure it was around the 32 mark, which isn't massively strong, because I think they wanted it to combo pretty well with the P7CB. Even better, 33.
That's fairly traditional.
That's fairly traditional. So you're getting the hollow body, you're getting a nice compact blade length there, so more compact than P790. It's like the blend between P790 and P7CB. I'd say that would be a great place to start. And the pitching wedge is at 45, so again, a little strong, but
he wants 47 and 48. We can weaken that.
So weaken that to 47, no problem at all. There's an approach wedge in there at 50 if you want that as well. So that feels like a good set that you wouldn't have to bend too far. It's a brand that makes exceptional irons. These have been played on tour. Jason Day was using them for quite a period of time. So I think that would be a really genuinely good place to start. And like I said, even if those don't take your fancy, don't be afraid to get on the loft and line machine and make something happen there.
And that's the most important bit I think I got from that question is like, I fall into it when I'm writing about these clubs in the magazine. I'm like, that's the loft. This is the loft it's in. That's completely changeable.
In about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Pop it in a loft and line machine, get a bending mark, bang, you've got a 33 degree, 7.
Don't worry about it. So I think the big lesson from that, don't pigeonhole yourself or rule out sets of irons because of the loft.
And don't forget about Ping as well. Ping offer a lot of their clubs in standard loft, retro spec and power lofts. So you can go super turbo powered or you can go back to more traditional lofts and they'll do that for you at source. The other question he had in there, do you remember, was how can it be low lofted but also high launching.
Yeah, so how can you have lower loft, less spin, but still fly high and have stopping power?
Essentially CG. So think of it like a driver. So when they get that CG nice and low in the heads, they'll do a lot of save discretionary weight, put tungsten and whatever things in down low, so move the CG as low as they can in the head. You start impacting the ball above that CG, the ball will take off higher or launch higher. But generally speaking, because of gear effects and just physics, it will spin less because of where that CG is located. So we know when we impact below CG, things tend to launch lower and spin more. When we impact above CG, they launch higher and spin less. So it's kind of like they're creating driver-like dynamics out of an iron. So it was done not immorally to start with, but basically it was a period of time when people were trying to win the launch monitor race on in the fitting bays. So you would just keep making their 7.9 stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So people would go, oh my God, I'm hitting my 7.9 200 yards. I must get these clubs. But then would get them out on the golf course and they weren't playable because they were hitting a 7.9 length 5-iron that was just going head height, couldn't stop it on the green. So while they were getting the yardage numbers they were thinking about, they weren't playable. So then companies kind of sort of worked backwards a little bit and realized that if we're going to keep these strong lofts and get these power boosts of ball speed from strong loft, because basically ball speed will go hand in hand with loft. The less loft you've got, the flatter the impact into the ball, you're transferring more energy, which is why you're going to get more ball speed out of a drive than you are a sand wedge. So the less loft you can get, you're going to increase that ball speed, increase that distance, as long as you can still get the ball up in the air. So when they did that, jack the lofts, move the CG low to get the high launch with the low loft, they would claim that solved the problem because you've got the launch, so your descent angle is going to get a bit steeper and that's going to help you stop it. Doesn't solve the spin problem of less loft. They're just kind of, what's the phrase? Robbing Peter to pay Paul or something like that, isn't it?
I can't remember. I can't remember the order of the names.
All the names.
Robbing Peter
to pay.
So I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I was still in debt to somebody because I've just robbed them.
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
in debt because I've robbed them and I owe them.
Basically, they've taken it off and having to mitigate that. So yeah, I'm still not a big fan of the high launch, low spin irons. Simply because when they hit the deck, you lose control. You still need that element of spin, but something like P770 does a great job of giving you that kind of flexing face, hollow body power boost and the feel of potentially a slightly firmer cast feel that you used to without having the jacked lofts.
Wonderful.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Joe, and hope that answers your question, Will. Thanks for getting in touch. Right, Joe, before we move on, the deal that never ends.
Yeah, the magazine, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to do it. We should do it again.
Yes.
3 magazine issues for £5. There's no rush because this has been going on for 18 months now?
Yeah, I think we've had a steady uptake.
Yeah, but if you have, let us know. I'd be interested to know. Angry Scottish Golfer is one. Our friend Matt Holbrook, who works for Golf Shake. I saw him buy a magazine, which is actually... It's a good idea buying the magazine, Matt, and I appreciate you sent us a picture in Smith's.
It's not as good an idea as taking advantage of the offer, is it?
Because that would have cost him, Joe,
$6.99,
$5.99. Depends if it's a special.
So you confused me from last week.
No, I know, because last week was a special issue.
Okay,
if it's a special issue, it's $6.99. If it's a not special issue, still equally special. It's $5.99. So Matt went into WH Smith's and bought that.
Yeah,
and that's great, and that's fine. And
thank you, Matt.
Appreciate that. But what he could have done to save himself 99p and get two more magazines.
And a trip to WH Smith.
Yeah, which have actually rebranded themselves. Have you seen that? They're called... anyway.
Fascinating.
He could have gone to www.magazinesdirect.com/kickpoint and redeem his offer of 3 issues for £5 delivered to his door. So that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd have done that, Matt, if I were you.
Yeah. Hey, schoolboy error, but we all make them every now and again. So do take that offer. I could have done a better job with that.
Really slick.
Should we move on to the what's in the bag this week, which is Ewen Ferguson, Ferg on Ferg.
Yes, bit of Ferg on Ferg action. I like this lad. I saw him when he first came out. Obviously, he's having a similar surname / identical surname. I thought I'd pay attention.
Similar surname.
Pay attention to this fella. Nice little compact golf swing. Very confident. He's very different for a. I've got to be careful what I say here. A lot of the Scottish lads I met back in the day were slightly less flamboyant, more straightforward, sensible.
Hey, I'm here to play golf.
He's got a bit of flash about him, hasn't he? He's got a bit of flow out the back of his cap, his sunglasses.
Yeah, I want that.
He's got some big shiny white teeth on him. He's a snappy dresser. He's got a bit of flash about him, Ewen Ferguson, hasn't he? His game's a bit flamboyant. good fun personality. I've seen him on Golf Life, Tubes and Ange. He's got a lot of chat. Friend of the pod, Richard Mansell as well, isn't he? So yeah, I was intrigued to do a little what's in the bag with him, and yeah, it was good.
So this is us. Well, not us. It's Joe. I was there.
You were there.
This is Joe with Ewen Ferguson at the British Masters, and he had some brand new irons put in. Let's find out more.
We are here at the British Masters at the Belfry. Ewen Ferguson is getting attacked by, what was that?
I don't know, a wasp, I think.
A little wasp attacking you.
I won.
And he won, and we're going to delve in, and we're going to have a little look at what's in your golf bag. So you're on staff at Titleist, certainly by the looks of things. There's a lot of Titleist product in here. We'll start at the top end. So you're in a slightly older driver. I've seen a few of these knocking around still. TSR 3, 9 degree on the A1 setting. We were just having a little chat off camera where you've been flitting around a little bit between a graphite design shaft and this Ventus TR.
I've always went 2D graphite design or Ventus TR, but you know that I've had that in for the last like 5 months now, and it's been great. I've always used the older head just because I like to fade it, and this head keeps the spin on it a little bit more than the GT. I think the GT I won with the GT as well last year, but I prefer this one for week in, week out on the DPE World Tour. Yeah.
I was looking at your stats for the year. 7th in driving accuracy. So this is obviously a really important part of your game. Build a lot from there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just been comfortable. Used the same one for ages, got comfy with it, and just stuck it in there and kept it. Are
you someone who dives much into your specs? Do you like to know a lot about kind of like how's it tipped, what driver's set, what setting you're on?
Never really, but recently I think the last couple of years I've had to kind of get more into it, just so that trying to work out what I can get better at, and you know, you play with other players and you might like the kind of what they do on the course, and they might have similar kind of speeds and shape to you, and you kind of you're just trying to get better all the time, aren't you? So you're never-ending process of trying to search for perfection, which you know doesn't happen often.
I played a couple of times with a good friend of yours, actually Richard Mansell. We played recently a couple of times. He's saying everyone's just always looking in each other's bags to see what so-and-so's got.
Especially him, he's obsessed with equipment.
Isn't he?
So yeah, he really is. Tinker, he loves a tinker.
And if we're getting the granular bits, I noticed earlier in the year you were playing Z-Cord Align grips, I think, so the rib down the back. And it looks, I was just having a nose through the bag earlier, looks like you're back to round multi-compounds. What's the thinking there?
I love the Align, but if they're not on perfect, it's a wee bit strange. And I noticed that like, if I'm in like the thick rough or I've got a flop shot and I open it up a little bit, I didn't like how the Align was kind of in the way almost. So just went back to kind of basics really, just a nice round, easy grip, feel good, and I don't need to worry if they're on perfect or not. So it's a little bit easier mentally for that.
We did a Scheffler What's in the Bag recently. He's talking about he uses rib grips, and they can take 30 grips to get one right, because it needs to be absolutely perfect. So it's interesting that you feel the same way there.
Yeah, you need to get it on bang on, and sometimes if it wasn't quite perfect, I'd notice it, and that just bothered me. So yeah.
Spec wise, kind of a standard length. Do you know what length you play driver at?
Standard everything. I don't know exactly what length, but
nothing crazy, short or long.
No, not just standard for off the shelf really.
Cool. And setup wise, I've seen at the top end of your bag, I think I saw a mini driver in quite recently.
I had a mini driver, the new Titleist mini driver, and I've had it in a couple of times this year actually, in Italy and Scotland. It's good, but like linksy course, really tight courses, but honestly, like this week, it's just not needed. So yeah.
And also for a guy who's 7th in driving accuracy, it's not like maybe you need to drop down.
Yeah, I know that's what it feels a bit weird about. I'm comfortable with my driver, so I don't need it too much.
Cool. And then in the area of the bag, linking to the irons, you in a couple of TaylorMade products. So we talk about this all the time on our podcast. The QI10 core model, kind of a unicorn, been in so many people's bags. What do you like about this?
Solid throughout the full face, and it's easy to shape really. I've used these shafts for forever, since like 2013, and just really comfortable with them. Good heads, and you know the Titleist guys haven't really tried much or forced me to get out of it yet, so it's been nice.
I think I see that a lot, particularly with Titleist, who are really good about, they just want you to play your best, right? They just want to set you up the right tools to do the right job.
They really do. They're brilliant to work with, because they're not they don't force things in your bag, like even the driver, they're not forcing me trying to get the new one straight away or anything, so it's really good company to be with.
And I guess if you're cutting driver a lot, if you're a predominant fader of the ball, it's very important that does a job. Where you
definitely, I like kind of hitting low ones and high ones, and it's just got good playability with it,
Cool. And I love this. We're into a little 7-wood down the bottom here.
Yeah.
21 degrees, QI 35. So still in graphite design product, but in the VR8 X Flex.
Yeah.
What's put you in a lofted fairway wood over a hybrid or a utility iron?
I've used that for the last like 4 years now, this 7-wood, and just loved it. It's honestly my number one club in the bag. Like, you can hit it from like 200 yards in thick rough, just open the face, chop it out, or 250. You know, it's like such like a brilliant club. It's can do so much with it, and that's what I like about it. And I feel like I'm quite good. I can hit it really low as well, so I don't need to change into like 3 irons and 2 irons.
I was going to say, do you have something in there?
I have tried it before, but I can do that, hit it low and high, so I don't really need to change, and that's why it stays in there all the time. Number one club in the team sheet.
Cool. And then going down into the bag, so we've got some freshies in today, am I right?
Yeah,
we're going in this week, yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're in the new T100s, 4-iron through to 9-iron. But I noticed a slight change. You've got we're getting the graphite shaft, the Tour AD, DI 105X in the 4-iron.
Yeah.
What's the thinking behind that rather than having them all the same?
Honestly, I played with Jordan Smith a couple of times, and he has that on his 4, and he was hitting them from in Dubai like so high and low, and it just seemed so playable. And I asked Titleist guys to make me one up, same as his, to try it, and it was going great. And the next week I got a hole in one with that exact club, so I thought it's in play now, and it is really easy to just manoeuvre and play about with. So I've been really enjoying that. And then 5-iron down to 9-iron. Went X100 dynamic gold shafts, same multi-compound rounds. And these have just been better in the rough. The new ones have been better in the rough. Like,
I've heard 3 or 4 Titleist guys saying exactly the same thing, just not getting jumpers, not getting flyers.
Better fairway bunkers, like in the wind. Like, I feel like they just always match the numbers and never getting varying too much from one extreme to the other. So really consistent throughout the bag, and I've loved them the last. I've been testing them for a while, to be fair. So yeah.
Okay, so what's made you take the plunge this week then?
I've just not. I feel like it was just the right time, and my results hadn't been as good as I'd wanted them, and it just seems like the right to freshen up and try and get the ball a bit closer to the hole.
Have you noticed any change in flight window for those? When I was testing T100s versus the last one, just notice these popping up a little bit higher and getting a nice, slightly steeper descent, or are you pretty similar?
I feel like they've not been. I don't know. For me, they've just not been like stalling in the wind as much into wind. I've noticed like if I've got like 182 yards, which is like a perfect 7-iron for me, and you get like 10 miles an hour wind, it's not affecting it drastically. Okay. Another one's just a little bit more.
Okay, interesting. And then down into the wedges. So you're a kind of a specialist pitching wedge guy rather than a set wedge, 46 degrees, 10F. Then we go 52, 56, and we've got a couple of 60s in here. I haven't seen many sort of chrome Vokies on top. It seems to everyone's full raw. Why have you gone in the chrome finish?
I just like that they match the irons. Really, just match my
aesthetic.
Just looks good in the bag, and it feels like I'm not changing loads, and they just look like they're in better condition for longer.
Okay.
Yeah, when I use the rusty ones, like the 60, I change my 60 all the time.
You know you get these free, right?
I know.
You just go and get enough.
I know, but it's not that. It's more the like this. I like them when they're broken in a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I don't want them like spinning off the greens and stuff. So I like them when they've got a bit of character to them.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And shaft wise, do you match up? So we go X1s. All the way down, or we soften up anyway?
No, I've tried that before, but I just like to keep things the same. Like when I had a bad one, but I changed it up, I was like, is that because of the shaft? You know, I just want it the same. So
okay, and then into lob wedge. So you do go raw in the lob wedge, and I've noticed we've got 2 in here. We were trying to see whether these are different for different turfs, but they, to all intents and purposes, they look identical. Is one a practice wedge, and one's a gamer wedge, or is there slight difference?
Like because of the they don't make this new K-Star grinds in chrome.
Okay.
So that's why they're raw, but they're so good. They're like a unicorn, like you were saying. They've got like kind of double grind. What camera are we looking at here?
Either or will work with you.
So the grind, they have like shaved off the front part here.
Yeah.
So it's like shaved here, flat shaved. I don't know if you can see that. And
with still a relatively wide sole width, right?
So I feel like it works so well on links and softs. I'm not changing all the time. I don't love changing too much. So when I'm chipping like square chips, you know, it's so easy. I'm not like feeling clunky through the hip and the tight turf because it's grinded at the front. And when I open it up, it's got relief at the back, so I'm not like, it's not sitting too high off the leading edge, isn't sitting too high up on the ball on the tight turf as well.
So you're not someone who would go venue to venue and think, right, this feels a bit softer, this sand's a bit thicker, I need to change it up.
I do when I'm playing like Scottish Open and the Open. I use T-grind just because it was burnt out and super tight. Okay. But we don't play a lot of links, so like week in, week out, that is just perfect. Yeah.
And what is the difference between these two? Are they are they identical?
They're identical. Yeah. I just carry two just because I don't know why actually. Just like
because I assume one would be a practice wedge.
I got a new one. And then that was stayed in the bag, and my clubs have been in the bag run with the tour, so it makes it harder for my caddy, tougher to carry.
Got to keep on his toes,
exactly. I'll leg it up from the tournament.
In the short sticks, you're in some L.A.B products, so you've got two in again. I noticed we had a little play earlier when you weren't on the range, and had a little look. So you've got some slightly different alignment aids. Which one's in play?
I'm not sure really. They're really the same putter, so they
but just with slightly different alignment gears on top. Yeah,
and I just change it up. If I don't know, I just generally they just both feel good. Like I said, just like a wee change here and there with the alignment. The tee's really good because it's to square the ball, but then that's so easy to aim from close range with that almost kind of like spider look to it in the aim. So yeah, it's been really good. The grip's nice, and pace putting's been brilliant with the L.A.B.
See, interestingly, I was chatting to Richard Manton when we were playing. I was talking to him about L.A.B ages ago, and he felt his sort of take was bulletproof from inside 10 feet, but his feedback was he was struggling a bit with pace. You've not found that at all?
I've heard loads of guys say that as well. But I don't know. I just found that my pace has been great with it from all ranges. Yeah, so we're all golfers are a bit mad, so we're all a bit different.
All a bit in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And as a Titleist staff, you've got access to some of the best balls in the game. Which one are you in?
I'm in the 25 V, so the black numbers. I went from 21 V to the 25. The 23 was kind of a little too low in spin for me. Okay. So as I said, I like to fade it, so I like kind of not be on the lower side to spin too much. And then the 25 was like a good version of the both, to be honest. So it was like just in the middle, it was just perfect. So straight in with that, yeah, as soon as it came out.
Anything else interesting in the bag? Are you a training aid guy? You've got any go-tos that you use every week when you come out here?
Got a couple of alignment sticks for aiming ball position. I've got string line for actually use that with iron play. String line with iron play for aiming and all that, and for putting as well. And then in here, just the Visio template. Every week, just get it down, make sure I'm aiming all right, and make sure I'm stroking it through the gap. So
just bit of maintenance.
Yeah, a bit of maintenance. So, but honestly, nothing too special. Sunglasses are always with me. They're always in here somewhere. My undercrackers are on this side. No, I'm kidding. No.
They are, for those of you thinking he's kidding, they're in there. I can see them. That is perfect. That's absolutely brilliant. That's what's in the bag of Ewen Ferguson. Go well this week, mate.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Right, Ewen Ferguson. What did you think of that, Daniel?
I really enjoyed it, Joe. Well done. Good interview, as always. Seems like a lovely bloke.
Lovely guy. Lovely bit of gear.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Next week, what's in the bag? Romain Langasque. What else are you doing?
Oh, I can't remember. What am I doing?
We've got a long drive ahead in, 4.5 degree drive ahead.
Yeah. I've been measuring driver heads as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Loft, exact lie, proper specking out, testing these companies out.
Always a ripper of an Ask the Pod. So do join us next week, but for now, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Cheerio.